These new trade developments are perfect for the Houston Rockets as we have some shocking updates across the NBA, with one particular name starting to come up in trade conversations, and of course, the Rockets are the first team to be mentioned as interested. We break down all the latest details behind this trade discussion, the rumors surrounding it, and so much more here today on Rockets Digest. Welcome, everybody. I'm Jace Andrews. I hope you're having a great day wherever you guys might be. We've got lots to break down to talk about. I have some interesting topics to go through. So let's start first with the, point of this video. Stephen A. Smith talked about it on First Take, saying that Tyrese Maxey should strongly consider leaving the 76ers. Now, Maxey, who had a fantastic year this past season with the Philadelphia 76ers, he hasn't exactly gotten to the level where he wants to get because, well, the Sixers have, whether you believe they inhibited him or the team in itself is just not good enough to get to an NBA championship level. It's not been what he wants. And so that's where this report starts to materialize. And with the name of Tyrese Maxey being brought up and potential trade rumors and being moved across the league, well, what do you know? But the first team to pounce on it was the Houston Rockets, as we started to get reports, rumors, graphics, all of the things made for Mr. Tyrese Maxey. And I don't know about any of y'all, but I believe this would be an absolute steal for the Houston Rockets. I think it's a perfect fit all around, and I would absolutely love to have Tyrese Maxey in this organization, maybe even more than I would like to have Giannis or Donovan or Kawhi Leonard for that take. Before I tell you more about that report, I want to let you know this video is brought to you by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is America's #1 sports picks app, and it's the best way to get in on the action. Whether you want to get in on the NBA right now with the playoffs going on, we've got a lot of cool promotions, including a Scary Hours boost where they're going live every single playoff game, getting you some extra payout boosts. But you also have Taco Tuesday, Flex Friday, so many promotions you want to check out. Plus, if you play $5, you're going to get $50 instantly if you use the link in the description and use code DIGEST. It's really fun to play, guys, so go check it out and tell them we sent you while you're there. We got some picks for the upcoming NBA playoff games later on in the show. Now, Maxey obviously was very good throughout the regular season, but maybe was even better in the postseason. He averaged 23.7 points per game in his 11 playoff games, playing in nearly 40 minutes, having rebounds at 4 per game and 5.9 assists. His true shooting percentage wasn't anything spectacular, but overall, he does fit the bill for what the Rockets are looking for in a guard. He's 6'2", can handle the ball effectively, and would be a great facilitator to a guy like Kevin Durant, or even making shot spaces for Jabari, or even Amin Thompson in the mid-range. There's just a lot I think the Rockets could do with the skills of Tyrese Maxey. I would absolutely love to see what it would look like with the Houston Rockets, and everything about this guy screams like he would be the perfect fit here. Now, of course, the question is, well, what's the cost? Because, as we know, the contract is pretty hefty, and he's not going to be an unrestricted free agent until the 2029-2030 season, 2029 free agency class. So with that all to be said, his contract value goes from 37 this year to 40 next year to 43 the year after, and then 46 in just a year before he becomes that UFA. I think it's 100% worth it. I don't think the money is something that I'm worried about. I'm worried about the price tag that's going to be on it because of the situation. Obviously, the Sixers feel as though they want to build a team around Tyrese Maxey now, and that Joel Embiid's time has, I'm not going to say come to a conclusion, but he's no longer the center of attention in Philadelphia. So to pry away Tyrese Maxey, you would need a couple of different things to happen. One, you would need Maxey to, in some ways, request a trade / show unpleasantness toward Philadelphia, kind of make it known that this is not where he wants to be or wants to be anymore, kind of like what Stephen A. Smith said in the beginning. You know, he thinks that he should basically ask his way out, and that's a real possibility. It's not something that can, just change throughout the day, but it's definitely something that I think could very much be something that will could process throughout this offseason. And again, if it were to work out, Maxey would immediately, in my opinion, become the top guy to look for. In fact, Bias Houston kind of saying the same thing, saying Tyrese Maxey would be the top of the list for potential players I'd want the Rockets to trade for, even over Giannis. I don't think he's getting traded, but the moment he hits the market, I want the Rockets to go and get him. And I think that's a very good point. The object of him getting traded, it's kind of up in the air. But should that happen and should he hit the market, the Rockets should go out and get him instantaneously. It shouldn't even be more than a couple hours for them to go call the 76ers and say, what's the price tag? Let's get that done. So, of course, that does become the question of, okay, great. Let's say he's on the trade block. What is the price tag? What are we going to have to offer up? What would it be to grab a player at the level of Tyrese Maxey and of the stature inside of Philadelphia sports? Well, here is kind of what a trade might end up looking like for the Sixers and the Houston Rockets. It would be Tyrese Maxey and Quentin Grimes added on to that to go along for Alperen Şengün, Dorian Finney-Smith, Jae'Sean Tate, a 2026 second-rounder and a 2026 second-rounder, one from the Bulls, one the Rockets own. Not even a first-round pick would have to go into this one, so you're keeping your Brooklyn one. Now, would you probably have to add an extra pick? I think so. I think maybe a first rounder will probably be the asking price to add on top of this, just strictly because of how valuable Tyrese Maxey is. And I think a little bit of the underratedness of Quentin Grimes, even though he is going into a yearly contract here. But I think this is such a good idea for the Rockets to go out there and make the move for. I would really love to see what it would look like with Kevin Durant and Tyrese Maxey. And ultimately, I do think that would put us as a very big threat in the Western Conference. I mean, if you consider the kind of give and take of having Kevin Durant and Maxey on your team, there's a lot of good. Obviously, the point totals for both of them are fantastic. The rebounds are going to be there with Kevin Durant, but then you get the assist. You get the less turnovers from Maxey. You get the steals from Maxey. You get that kind of quick agility with the defensive and tall presence of Kevin Durant down low with his blocks, his field goal percentage, three-point percentage. I just think all in all, it is a guy that I would jump to the top of the list to go and acquire should his name be put out there. Again, it's up in the air right now whether or not that's even a thought process in his head. But Stephen A. Smith kind of says that it should be a strong consideration for Maxey to look into it because, I mean, he's got a good point. The 76ers and their whole trust the process thing never worked out. Now you have Joel Embiid who's injured half the time, and yet you've got Maxey just trying to carry this team, which to his credit got them past the Boston Celtics. But can they get past anybody else in terms of, the Eastern Conference, like the Knicks? No. Could they have gotten past the Pistons or the Cavs? Probably not. I mean, who knows? You're going to slip the Knicks, but it is an interesting thought process to have, and I really do think that they should 100% consider this. Just as you should consider getting on to Prize Picks for the upcoming NBA playoff games tomorrow. Friday, a couple of games, 6 and 8:30. Anthony Edwards, I'm going to take his more on 5.5 two-pointers made. He's a mid-range guy. I think that should be an easy one to hit. I'm going to go with Harden. I think he can get back in the groove this game. Pretty pivotal one here. I'm going to take the more on his 19.5 points. I'm also going to take the more on Donovan Mitchell's 34.5 points, rebounds, and assists. You can make these picks and even more on Prize Picks today. Again, play $5 to get $50 with the link in the description while using code DIGEST when setting up for an account. I think for the Rockets and Maxey, it's obviously a dream worth exploring if that ever does come a reality. At this current time, obviously, it's going to be a situation where you're probably not going to see that come to a head at all. But I do think it's something that the Rockets should strongly look at, should strongly consider. And honestly, obviously, the trade block is one thing, but if this is something that I think a lot of us do feel strong about, and Rafael Stone, go make a call. Just go see. I mean, worst comes to worst, do some digging. Hey, Tyrese Maxey, how's he feeling there? Just in the thought process. So we'll see ultimately what does end up happening. But for now, though, guys, this is all we got. We appreciate you watching. We'll keep you updated with everything we do. Peace out.